Hi guys, so it is that time of the year again, the end of one year, the beginning of another year. So many things to reflect on this year, a lot of really fantastic things for me and a lot of really frustrating things for everyone. So I'll start off with the kind of sucky things and then I'll get to the sweet things because, I like to end on a good note. So, the sucky things. Well, okay, so this is what I kind of see as an overview of what's happening in the world today, and it has been happening for a while, and it's continuing. We're still finding our feet, and that is, I see our current time as being kind of like the Industrial Revolution, where all of this technology came into play very quickly, and it's changing the way our economy works, and it's changing the way society functions. So I think that's what we're dealing with, and there's of course conflicts and stuff that goes along with that, and we're dealing with that. And then we have the added bonus, if you will, of the powers that be, and I don't just mean politicians, I mean the big money movers, I mean the big corporations that have a lot of control over the way that we live our lives. They have been abusing that power, and now we have a lot of people and a lot of movements that are coming up, like the what is it called? The Gilets Jaunes movement, or yellow vests, yellow jackets, whatever. These things are starting to come up because we have these people that are supposed to be helping society to function, and what they're doing is actually hindering it and causing problems. And so the people are starting to stand up and say enough. And now, as some of you know, I have citizenships in several different places. I'm very fortunate that way. And so I have a keen interest in politics in these different places that I actually could potentially live, because I am citizens of those places. So I pay attention, and I mean, that's the big thing. I'm always watching, I'm always trying to filter the information and figure out what's really going on, and makes me look smart, but I'm not that smart. So anyway, some of the things that I have been concerned about is the fact that these powers just don't seem to want to listen to the people. They don't seem to care. And I mean, so there's one example, Anna Soubry, who is a UK MP, and her constituency voted for Brexit, and she is a classic Remoaner. She has been fighting Brexit the whole time. So really, how is she representing her people whenever she's going against the will of her own constituency? So there's that. Bring it to Alberta, and I'm going to put some links in the description. So first of all, it's a guy from Alberta. He's a YouTuber. He calls himself Canadian Eagle. And I'm linking to one of his videos specifically that was extremely hard to watch. The first part of it is a song, and then he goes into explaining what he has gone through over the last year or so with what's happening, what's being forced on Albertans. And the idea that in Alberta, it's not about taking handouts. Nobody wants a handout. What we want is the ability to get our product to market, the ability to go back to work and be productive members of society, which is part of the Alberta identity, really. We like to work, we like to create, we like to start businesses and do all of those things. And not being allowed to, being crippled by regulation and a lack of decent management and all of those things, that's what hurts. So his link will be in the description. The other thing, federally, as a Canadian, we have Justin Trudeau, who is just so reprehensible. I will link to I think it's just like a Word document that has a list, and it was over 100 the last I looked at it. It could be even bigger than that now. But they call it Trudeau's Crimes, trudeauscrimes.com, and it just lists off all of the things, because I could start talking about you know, I could list off all of the things that he's done that is absolutely reprehensible, but that would take up an entire video, and I just don't want to do that. So I'll just link to that, and you can just read through it, because the list is basically endless. And I mean, it doesn't even cover everything. And every day there's something new that the guy has done. Every time I see his face come up about something, his Christmas messages and all of that garbage, it's just so, ugh. He's just so gross, to quote Sheila Gunn Reid from The Rebel. I don't think she called him gross, but I will. I will call Justin Trudeau is just gross. He's probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to Canada. And I say that because, I mean, his father was bad. His father was really bad for Canada and the Canadian identity. The son is even worse, as far as I'm concerned. I don't even know if it's so much him or his handlers, because as far as I'm concerned, he's just a sock puppet. Yes, you heard that right. A sock puppet. He'd probably enjoy that because, you know, he's really into his socks. But anyway, I digress. The point is, the guy is awful. We have to get rid of him in 2019. There's just no two ways about it. And his entire government. If we could wipe out the Canadian Liberal Party, that would be the best possible thing for Liberals even, because maybe they'll be able to start fresh with something that actually makes some sense and maybe goes back to classical Liberal values instead of this wannabe dictator. Anyway, that's all the bad, sucky stuff that's been going on. And we see like the different things that are happening, the movements that are happening. There's the Alberta separation stuff that's going on. I mean, it's such a huge bunch of stuff to be dealt with that I couldn't even address all of it. And it's so come to the fore in this last year that I think it's going to be harder and harder for, you know, those people that have their heads stuck in the sand to ignore it. We still have, you know, some people like Justin Trudeau saying that what's happening in Alberta is just certain political people that are stirring things up. Well, yeah, in some ways he's right. And I thought about this after I wrote it somewhere on somebody else's vlog in the comment section. He is right. He is right. There are certain political entities that are stirring up the problems in Alberta. Those political entities are Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party and Rachel Notley's NDP. That's who's causing a lot of these problems. Rachel Notley for managing the province badly and playing along with Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, because the guy went in on this mandate that was, you know, I don't know, peace, love, unity, what was it? Diversity is our strength, and inclusion and acceptance. Except what he has done the entire time he's been in office is sow division. He's one of the most divisive people I have ever come across in my life, because he has an absolute hate on for Alberta and always has done. And you can look back in, you know, old clips of him. I'm sure he'd deny it now or make some excuse for it, because he always does. And he's so duplicitous. He says one thing in one place and another thing in another place. And he's just disgusting. So, okay, so I will stop on my dislike. I'll be very mild. My dislike of Justin Trudeau. We'll address more of that in the new year, because, as you know, I'm working on some things. I'm trying to be positive, though, and trying to go value-based instead of picking fights or, you know, going after certain policies or, you know, whatever. What I want to do is really come to people in a positive way, show them that being conservative is not being a neo-Nazi, because that is the picture that has been painted in the MSM. I was saying the other day that I watched something, I guess it's a couple of weeks ago now, and the commentator on, I believe it was the CBC, and no, I don't normally watch the MSM, but every once in a while I'll catch pieces because something looks of interest. And the way this commentator had said conservative, it was like he was spitting it out like it was a bad taste in his mouth. And I thought, for us to get to that point where being a conservative is tantamount to being, or the perception is such that you're some extremist that, you know, and I've talked before about friends of mine who think that if conservatives get into power, then homosexuals will be arrested, like rounded up, arrested, and possibly put to death. I mean, that's what goes on in their heads. And it's just so stunning to me that they would think that, and I can't understand where they're getting that idea from. But it's obviously being put out there somewhere, and that's something that we need to address, because that is not, in my understanding anyway, that is not what a conservative is. Not a modern day conservative. I mean, it might have been what a conservative was 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, but it's not what a conservative is now. We have modernized. We don't see things quite the same way as we did, at least, you know, in the social realms. As far as the economy is concerned and being fiscally responsible, oh hell yes, and that's exactly why I'm a conservative. Okay, so we're putting to bed all of the crappy stuff that's happened and all the political stuff, because we know we have a lot to work with in the new year. And I believe, I don't know if I said it already or not, but I believe 2018, 2019, and 2020 are going to be pivotal years. I think it's going to make all the difference in the world on how history plays out, or the future plays out. And I think it's going to be a time when people in the future look back at this particular period of time, and these 3 years, as crucial periods of how the world changed, really. I mean, it's going to change. We're going through massive, massive growing pains, and I think those changes are really going to come to a head over the course of these 3 years. And there's been evidence of that over the past year. So, brushing that all aside, now we're going to get on to the good stuff. So 2018 for me personally has been absolutely phenomenal. I started my year off, well, my year of traveling started in March. I went to Vancouver and did an interview with a Chinese medical practitioner, which was awesome. I want to revisit that again, and I'm hoping to do a project, but I'm not going to say too much about it yet. So that was phenomenal, and it was this sort of the start of all of these good things that have happened ever since. Now, in May, I went to the UK and Ireland, South of Ireland, and I traveled around, and I did 2 more interviews, one with Disability Sports Northern Ireland and Guide Dogs Northern Ireland, which was amazing. And I got a lot of great information and was able to share that with a community that's very near and dear to my heart. So I guess I'll do confession time now, because a lot of you that are on here don't know, and you're going to find out more about it in the new year, because I'll be doing a lot more talking about it, because my plan is to bring a lot of these things that I do sort of into one place, and this vlog is going to be one of those places. I have a degenerative eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, or RP for short, and I am very active in the community, sort of the blind community. And one of the things that I try to do is share information within that community, advocate for that community, and show all the different things that someone with an eye disease can do. So to that end, in 2019, I will be climbing the CN Tower. It's for World Wildlife Foundation, because that's who's running that charity. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to do a donation, because I got to raise 150 bucks so that I can do it Canadian. Which right now it still might be worth a shekel or two, but come April, whenever I'm actually climbing, it might be worth less than the peso. Anyway, it might be worth less than the zloty. It's pretty sad. But yeah, so I'll be doing that, and it's part of it is to show what someone with a visual disability can do. I am not one of those people that's looking for sympathy or complaining or, you know, any of those things. I have an eye disease. I use a white cane. I don't have peripheral vision, but I have central vision. And I do whatever I can to show that I'm just as capable as any able-bodied person to do anything out there. So no sympathy, please. Anyway, so this year, that was some things that were really important to me. I also went to Vision Quest in October in Edmonton, which was very cool. Some of the things that we discovered there were unfortunate. There was some research that was being done that we were hoping would have a lot more benefit, and it wasn't the golden calf that we were hoping for. But is the golden calf a good thing? I suppose not. I think you know what I mean, though. We were hoping for great things, and it kind of petered out. There were some good things that were discovered, but wasn't as great as what we were hoping. So that was, but it was still a really good experience because I got to meet a lot of interesting people and see a lot of the technology that's going on. I always love to go to Vision Quest because the Foundation Fighting Blindness is just a phenomenal organization, and they do a lot of important work, and that's one of the things that they do every year. And during that time, I've been trying to work with someone out of the United States who has he does a martial arts program or a self-defense program for people with like people who are blind, but also for the disabled. And I've been trying to bring the program to Canada for over a year. It still hasn't happened. I met someone where I thought we were going to have like this great thing happen, and it just didn't. At least it hasn't yet, but it's, you know, that toe in the door that I'm hoping will, you know, eventually widen. So I have a lot more work to do in that department. But it's been a really good year for my work in RP. There's been a lot of benefit, like a lot of beneficial things that I've been able to produce, and hopefully I'll be able to maximize that in the next year. Personally, the traveling that I've done has been absolutely phenomenal. I've had amazing opportunities to see things that I wouldn't have ever thought that I'd be able to see. I still have more of those things to do before the year ends. Tomorrow I'm going to see some places in Krakow that are kind of off the beaten track, things that you don't normally get to see, or that, you know, on a touristy kind of a thing, you wouldn't normally hear about it. But it has such great history, and so my host is taking me to this phenomenal area where I'll be able to see that. And, you know, even better, my street art obsession. There's a mural called Silva Rurum, I think. I'm probably pronouncing it really badly, but anyway, it's the whole history of Krakow is on this mural that's like a street art kind of a thing. So that's going to be very cool to see that. So I'll be getting film of that, of course, to share with you, but very cool thing that you wouldn't normally think to go and see. So anyway, there's all of that. Research on the book is coming along incredibly well, and the more I see, the more inspiration I get for more like aspects. It just keeps enriching the story that I want to tell. So that's been incredible. And meeting people, I've reconnected with old friends that I haven't seen in years, with family members that I haven't seen in years. I got to meet new family, well, not new family members, but family members that we didn't know existed. I got the opportunity to meet them in Leicester. So that's been phenomenal. And I have met some really amazing people on my journey. I've made incredible friends. It has been just one of the best years, and I'm so grateful for everything that's happened this year, even the kind of sucky stuff, you know, even with that, there's something that you learn from every experience, and I've learned so much this year, and I've grown so much as a person this year, and I couldn't be happier about the experience. and a lot of the things that I've learned and experienced this year will feed into 2019 and all of the things that I want to do in 2019. So I'm really excited about that. And finally, before I end this thing, even though it's gone on for far too long already, I really want to thank everybody that has been so supportive on this vlog here that I've been doing. I came out from behind the keyboard, which is not my comfort zone at all. I like being behind the keyboard and just writing words because my tangential mind is a benefit in that capacity. Whenever I'm just talking to a camera, it can be quite difficult because, you know, I'm now up to 20 minutes and this was only supposed to be a 10-minute video. So as you can tell, I have a problem. But the bottom line is I want to thank you all. I came out and started doing these because I saw these problems that are happening and commenting just didn't seem to be enough. I wanted to address them head on, and I'm going to continue doing that in the new year. And there'll be a little bit more variety in the types of things that I present on here coming into the new year, just so that, you know, I'm not just whinging on about how horrible the world is right now, because there are some really great things that are happening out there, and I'm hoping to bring more positivity to this, and to bring, like I said, different aspects of my life, including like the work that I do in RP, my writing, the traveling, all of those things, bring them all together so that people can experience my world and my life, and, you know, the different things that I'm doing and the different things I'm trying to accomplish here. So on that note, thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart for being here, for commenting, for being so supportive, both on this particular vlog and in the comment sections of other vloggers that I do prolific commenting on. Thank you for sticking with me despite how long these videos are. I have a goal in the new year of not allowing any of the videos to go over 10 minutes, so hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that. No guarantees, but, you know, I'll try. So thank you again. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and putting up with my crazy mind. And here's to a new year of accomplishing great things and seeing an end to at least some of the turmoil that we've been going through. All the best. Merry Christmas. I know it's already done, but Merry Christmas anyway. Happy holidays. And a very, very, very happy and prosperous new year to everyone. All the best, guys.